not sure what just happened. I'm going to carry on. So slightly disjointed one. But yeah, I got this whole house and I'm over the moon. I'm loving it. So I've got work, got a place to come back to. Things are good. And that's what I wanted to share with you. You know, got mates, you want to keep them up to date with what's going on. Got my coffee. Oh, I've used the tap water, it's not so good. Use bottled water, it tastes better. And I got work today. I'm going off working. And trusting so much in the experiences that I'm having that are colouring my days, lifting me every day lately. And I just want to say thank you to everything that I have to say thank you for this raising of my spirits, of my connection. It can only be attributed to that. An opening going on within me that I feel in this world closer to. It's beautiful. And by the way, because I can say what I want, if anyone was wondering how the wild birds do it. Luckily for my sanity, I've spent quite a lot of time with her this last couple of weeks. And all I can say is thank you. Because it helps. And from the experiences, I just learn so much more each time. It's never the same, my goodness. It's always so different. But I'm getting more aware of it being you. And just this morning, you know. So without giving any secrets away, this love, this unconditional love, holds the potential to extract you from just being a lonely person living your life. It seems to give us more senses, a deeper understanding. It opens our heart. And through that is how you perceive this heaven. And I've seen people with that perception, and they exude that in their normal day. They live in accordance with it. They are the ones I truly admire. And that is what I want to do. More and more. That world of truth shines into this world at times. And we need it. We really need it here, guys. You know, as I've said, I mustn't have a go at people. I mustn't this, mustn't that. Forgiveness. The love, the unconditional love of forgiveness. Okay. Love, like with a child. But with a child, you don't let them walk in the road or burn themselves or do dangerous things. And you certainly wouldn't let them ruin their entire lives That makes no sense. And in this world, some of the players, we need to be very aware here as a population of the new earth. Because, okay, forget, Spanish Civil War, Hitler was allowed to perfect blitzkrieg. Now, they were observed at the border. The battle was observed. The war. And allowed to happen. And look what happened after that. Their technique of warfare, blitzkrieg, was very effective. I've since learned that the troops themselves were on methamphetamines. They were on some very, very heavy drugs. They were forced to take it. The concept of what they were doing, what they were capable of. So you see, it took a lot of preparation for the Second World War. It took Hitler a long time to get enough people angry and fighting to build up his propaganda. And he got into power with very, very small support and achieved what he achieved. Now, that is history. That is history. Can't change that. And I am not making a judgment on it. I'm making an observation. I happen to have lost Spanish family. My grandfather, as a kind of about 8-year-old boy, was evacuated from the north of Spain, along with other women and children, onto a boat, headed for Russia. It developed mechanical problems and ended up in London. At the time, there was a lot of sympathy for what was going on. So the children were fostered, were taken in, and I, in a sense from there, it's a foster family. Flap and Rick, they were called. They died a long time ago. But they took on my grandfather. And from there, our family grew in England. I remember my dad being the only Gomez in the telephone book back in years ago. The absolute only Gomez. When I was headed to Russia, I could have ended up in Russia. You're telling a different story. But you see, so I have a funny little link with that whole thing. And that can't be changed. But to observe and allow to build up a thing until it overflows and overwhelms, that seemed to be what happened. Now, I know there were many involved with their self-interest. They may have been acting observers, but they were quantifying the war ahead, making their plans, how to make themselves and their business very, very rich. So there is vested interest in war. It has been used for centuries. We could go back forensically and look at exactly what happened. Not many years ago, one of the let's go bomb Iraq, I guess it was, or is it Syria now, I guess. And the French held back. The French were like, nah, look, we've done a lot of bombing. We don't want to be involved in this little soiree. Now, at the time, I learnt a big one, because there are all these giant companies go in when these wars start. There are these giant companies that put in their bid for the rebuilding that they can see is going to be needed. And the French companies were refused. They were not allowed to bid. You're not going to bomb it. You can't bloody rebuild it then. And I know I'm being a bit simplistic about it. But on the surface, that is exactly what is being done over and over and over. And below the surface and in the higher echelons, there's a lot worse than that causes this. These things are orchestrated. They are done again and again. And there is no light in war. I would not class war the same as the nighttime and the daytime. They work together, they're essential. Certain forms of natural destruction seem to as well happen like that. But man's wars, no, they're not natural, they're not necessary. They are done. It seems most of the time it's some form of alpha male reaching the end of his days and feeling it. Narcissism is prevalent. They are, in a sense, psychopaths, and yet they've used that to get up through politics because that's the only way. And then they seem to want to go out with a bang, they want to really leave their mark. And of course, I'm not talking about what's going on now with Ukraine and Putin. The danger of us sitting and observing, watching it grow. Are the observers planning more? Of course you are. And it disgusts me to think that you'd want to. Can't you change your mind? Can't we go, actually, no, we could make money other ways than war. Don't you have enough money? I mean, Putin's rumoured to be the richest man. And it's not enough, is it? So I just don't want to focus on this, but it can't be ignored. Because it's enough already. It is enough. And to see how clearly Trump in America he's doing exactly what Hitler did. Do you understand? Exactly, word for word. I've told you exactly who Mr. Take-A-Dump is. There was another defeat in the midterms, seems to be a good indication. They've upset the women and so, I mean, they're so stupid, which is good, because if Trump had Putin's brain, they'd have done it. And we wouldn't be having these conversations. It would be done. So, wake up, America, all of you. Do vote. Be very conscious of your strength through this next year towards that. Be very aware. And call it out. Call it out for what it is. It is fascism. It is the evil that has plagued this planet and grown over time. I think it's well worth I don't know, what do you do? Well, I just reach out to some that are fighting that fight and pray that they are well. They continue in their clarity and fight a good fight. I'll leave that. It's a nice morning. I don't want to talk about war. I just don't want there to be any, but no one's listening to Timbo. Back to the beauty that this life is, the beauty that unconditional love is, and the ability of a human being to actually connect with that in this human life. And you don't need to bang on the head. Might have helped though. Or maybe you do need to bang on the head. Maybe that's the answer. No, I don't think so. That'd be mean. It's as simple as I just want to see people at their best. And I do. And I want to see the youngsters allowed to be their best. Stop being traumatized in their young years. The amount of adults have to go through a whole flipping thing just because of one thing in their childhood. It's too much. You've got to be good to the kids because they are the future. They're the future creators. And be nice to them, because they might be taking care of us, Selfish as ever, you see. I've got to go and have another coffee and stuff and get myself off to work. But I just wanted to talk to you again. Say, I'm not giving up. I can't give up. I can't. Not for a minute. And to say to my wild bird, we are coming closer, aren't we? You've got to admit that's how it feels. Like I say, I just want to come on. Certain you're literally 1 hour that way. That drives me mental. But I'm sure these experiences are to prepare us. They seem to get to know you more. A little bit more. And this last couple of weeks has given me some beautiful new memories of our little court moments, it would seem. Some getting a bit longer. And this morning it was quite long. There was one, and so much else. So I just, I let it give me hope without building up expectations and ideas. But it does give me hope. It gives me a spring in my step. To know that there's someone else on the other end of my completely irrational, defying all logic, gone pretty mad love. That there's someone on the other end of it that might be the closest match to just how we are. Anyway, I'm gonna get some breakfast, go to work, screeding the floor today, so it's on the knees for the day. That's good. And my old mate was slang. And I just send you love. Oh yeah, there's no limit. And that's what I want to sort of feel. That's what I get so hopeful about. I see praise. It gives me a lot. At most, it gives me hope. Hope that there are more than enough good people I'm certain we've done the tipping point. Maybe it's a very slow tip. It's a big old set of scales. So perhaps we're tipping. And have been for a year or two. But I feel it's gaining momentum here. And I would encourage anyone that wants to suspend your disbelief, open your mind, open your heart to far greater possibilities than have been presented to us in our lives. That the narrative has been so controlled and manipulated. And those in power are scared shitless now because they're losing their power. Even though they could see it can be beautiful for them as well. They can let go of their egos a little bit. Well, we'll see. So they're going to be very good for everyone. Good for some, rough for others. I want good for everyone. I do not want bad for everyone. And there are some that do. So I'm fighting them. Because I refuse that this quantity of love on this planet at one time was meant to be. And that is more powerful than all the darkness, all added up. And we're here. This is no mistake. And that's the level of trust that I need, that you need, that we need. And remember, I'm telling myself this, I easily get things that pull me off and get anxious and stuff, but I have a touchstone, I have a core, a heart to come back to. And that is, it would seem all you need. So, I'll talk to you soon. So this is from your inner house now, pretty sorted, time-minded, feeling funky. So let's, as ever, keep raising our spirits. Prove the doubters wrong. And step into something beautiful together. I'm still sure you're all having a party without me, You're supposed to, I wanted to come to the party, not inviting me to the party. It's like, well, don't bother me. Not bothered at all. I'm there anyway, Soja. I'll come in Mr. Invisible. No, look, no messing around. Take care of yourselves. Speak to you soon. Thank you.